participating and doing all the different items. So how many of us can think, I noted about 4 key items that I got out of today. What did you guys get out of today?
Practice.
Can you let's list it together, starting from the beginning to end. What did we get out of today?
Fear not.
Huh?
Fear not.
Fear not. Yes, that is one. Fear not.
Always
Huh?
how to pray.
How to pray. That is the 5 fingers, right? 2. Okay.
Love one another.
Loving one another. We are all in this together, right? We are all in this together. Okay. What else?
Practice what you preach.
Practice what you preach. Okay. And the little kids did walking in the light. So I asked the kids what it is walking in the light. Right? So Jesus said, what did Jesus say? Jesus said to be the light, to be the salt of this world, right? So why did he say to be the light and the salt? Why did he say to be the sugar? Thomas Cody Uncle gave a reason why not to eat too much sugar, right? Sugar is sweet. Everybody loves sugar. They'll come and stick to you like how they'll stick to Merlin. Merlin was the big shot in the play, right? Right? So everybody will stick to Merlin. So she's the sugar. Well, Nancy walks out. She's an alien for people. Why? Because she's the salt. Right? So she was trying to prove something to the kids there. I am the salt. This is not what God is expecting of you. Make sense? I mean, the play that they did, it shows us as well. It talks about us. It talks about us when we are in the real world, when we are at work, when we are at school, when we are in a supermarket, how we are, how we act, what we do, how we behave, all are monitored. Even in our own family life, we are monitored, we are tracked down. Because if we claim to be a believer, if we claim to believe and say that we know the Word, and if we don't act according to the Word, then there is something wrong. Right? So Nancy saw the other 3 friends going to the same church and thought, man, these guys are Christians and the way they're acting is totally different in school. They're fighting with each other all the time. Right? So that didn't make sense for Nancy. Right? So God put one person in the other 3's life to make an impact. We are all in this together. That's what I like. I like the final sentence. We are all in this together. So we as a church, whatever struggles, tough situations, whatever problems, issues, we are in this together as one. And when we go out, we try to help our brother and sister wherever we are. Okay? So that was one big thing. And then you had the 5 prayers to bolt that. The 5 prayers, the 5 fingers. 5 fingers. Makes sense, huh? And then fear not. Fear not, for God is with thee. So one thing that I want to say, and we'll close. Couple of things. One is, I was talking with my chechi in Tulsa today. So I wanted to share something with you guys. So I was asking, I've been thinking about a few things about the world and about the Word and how it's been affecting me and how, why is the world behaving, believers of this world behaving like unbelievers in the Word and not in the Word and not seeing the Word in the biblical way. Too many word and world, huh? You get confused which one goes where. But I was like struggling with a few things. So I started asking all these questions to my chechi in Tulsa. Asking her why, what is going on and why this is happening. And we had a discussion going back and forth. I brought about the Old Testament and the New Testament. God is different and this and that and all that. She said, no, our God is the same. Who was then, who is now, who is going to be is the same. Okay, makes sense. But the one thing that she told me and really struck me was the fact that what she started doing, she started praying to God, asking God, God, you teach me how to see people, how you would see it, how you would see them. Now that made me think. I always see people the way I want to see people. Me as a believer, or me as someone who knows the Word, is not seeing, and we talk about love, and we talk about this all the time. We talk about the major commandment is love, we got to love one another. But it's deep. Love is deep. It's like the kids are saying, they were enough of hearing love. But they didn't experience it till someone showed that to them. But so then I was thinking, you know what? Yeah. We never pray, God, you show me how you see those people. You teach me that way. So that, and she told me, man, I started praying that, and that started making a big difference in my life. I started seeing an impact in her life. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing that. Because the key is, how does God want, or how do you think God sees everybody? 6 billion people in this universe, in this planet. He loves everyone unconditionally. He wants them to come to Him. But He's given us the free will. He's given us that decision-making point to say yes or no. So I really want to encourage the church, from the kids to older, everybody, that I think we start praying, God, you teach me how you are seeing my fellow brother, how you are seeing my fellow sister. And once you do that, I believe, honestly, is we'll start seeing each other in a different light. A light how God wants us to see them. And not always judging them for anything. Because always when we start judging, always I think about the fact of a bigger plank in my eye. We always have a bigger plank when we judge someone else. So it made sense. So that was one thing I wanted to share this evening. The other one, on a quick note, is 3 things. Being, becoming, and who the Lord wants you to be. Okay? There's one man who was in that stage in his life, and that was Joseph. Joseph had a promise through the dream that he's going to be someone. But the time that it took, from the time he got the dream, till he became that someone, and what his job was a long time. It was a long, long time. But he had faith. His faith was equal to his patience that he had. He had to go through a lot of tribulations, a lot of trials along the way. But there was a being that he was, then he became, and then he truly became what God wanted him to be and what God wanted him to do. So I want you guys to think about that this evening. Kids, when you're frustrated, right, about anything, it's always, let's keep our end goal in mind. Have the big picture, right? What does God want us to be in a bigger picture? Not in your own world, in a very big picture. However big you can imagine. Where does God put you in? Where do you fit in that big picture? Dream big, yeah? And the plan that the Lord will have for you is much, much greater. Lastly, close. It's not about being successful. Okay, this is one big key note that I heard in one of the messages when I was at Grace, when I went to Grace one time. The pastor was saying, in life, there's 2 things. One is about being successful and being significant. He said, it's not about being successful in life, but it's being significant. How you signify yourself to someone else. How you're significant to somebody else. And that is what God wants. Okay? It's not about us, it's about them. It's not about us, it's about them. With that, I thank you all for coming.